Alright, hello there, welcome back to another wee bit different video. Today's video, we are going to be talking about Boston Celtics winning the NBA championship, but more importantly, above all else, what does this mean for the legacy of Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and all in all, what is the reaction of everyone that, has watched the series from beginning to end and thinking about just how it went all in all, how well Boston played, how inefficient Dallas was through stretches of the series, and just a lot of comments and, thoughts from a lot of people with a lot of takes, some of them hot, some of them cold, some of them in the gray area. Me personally, no matter what you say about who Boston faced, they didn't barely win. They flat out dominated throughout the playoffs with only 3 playoff losses. So you want to say they didn't play against really good teams? They lost 3 times. So even then, they showed up and handled whoever was in front of them. And you could be saying, someone could disagree with me and say, well, that's the point. They should be, dominating these teams. A lot of teams in general play down to their opponents, and when they have opportunities, they kind of don't just take the game and run away with it. But with Boston, they clearly showed that no matter who was in front of them, they were going to go full throttle. And they did. They had one loss, and it was a huge loss against Dallas in Game 4. But nobody cares about that. They care about who wins the series. Like, congratulations, Dallas. You won Game 4 in dominant fashion, but who won the championship? You guys get what I'm saying? Nobody is going to be looking back and thinking, oh my God, Dallas won Game 4 by 40 points, or they won by 28 or whatever it was, but at one point they were up 48. No one's going to go back and think about that. They're going to think about who won the championship, and it was the Celtics. And credit to Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and co. Phenomenal playoff run. Getting into some of the top comments before we talk about how this affects their legacy. LOL, Tatum talks about Horford like he's dying. This is in response to Al Horford. 17th season. He's finally gotten a championship. Hell of a lot of playoff games under his belt. It's a big deal that he actually gets this title now because not a lot of time left. This kind of effort in a win or go home game is crazy. Dudes just walking up the court and getting out rebounded should not be happening, and Kyrie too spooked by the Boston crowd. Kyrie definitely played significantly worse at Boston than at Dallas, and some of that definitely has to do with Kyrie just really not handling the booze very well. Boston crowd has been giving him a lot of shit since he's left Boston, whether you agree or disagree with the reason why, but Kyrie just seems like he hasn't handled it too well. Drew won his first title in his first year in Milwaukee and another in his first year in Boston. Portland should have kept him. They could have been champs. Portland definitely would have been champs. But the point is, Drew Holiday, no matter where he goes, he is the perfect fit to any team because he's a very good utility player, being a solid, reliable offensive output and an elite defensive player. So you can throw him anywhere on any team, and he is going to flourish because that's what Drew Holiday does. So you add him to the Celtics team this year, switching Marcus Smart with him. Wow. Brad Stevens, hats off to you. This team was just so incredible. Everyone being a good shooter. Everyone following their role to a T. We have looked at Jayson Tatum as the superstar of the team. The guy. And he still is. People want to all of a sudden say Jaylen Brown's a better player. I would heavily disagree. But I will say this. Jaylen Brown also stepped up. Because you talk about him guarding Luka. Whether Luka was injured or not, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. What matters, again, is what are the results? Who won it all? What were the numbers that Luka put up? What were the numbers that Jaylen Brown put up? What were the numbers that Jayson Tatum put up? We have reasons for these things, but at the end of the day, it is a league that's about results. And Jaylen Brown, after last year being shit on for not being able to dribble with his left hand, people were making fun of his handle. This year, not making an All-NBA team, You go back to his contract when he signed the extension, got paid a shit ton of money. He's gotten a lot of shit over the years. And this year, being, again, the finals MVP, it just speaks to what effort and hard work that he's had to put in to get where he is. But also, again, getting into what I wanted to talk about, the legacies. If Boston had never won a title with this group, Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, those two, the duo, would be getting crucified by everyone because it's always been about talent with these two. This duo has always had the talent. They've always been capable. They just haven't really put it together in years past. And this year, you could tell from the get. Again, it doesn't matter who you put in front of them. Their experience, and when the moment got really bright, they just handled it with so much more, almost like wisdom, right? They weren't making so many stupid plays. They were doing the right things defensively, making the right passes offensively. It was just beautiful to watch. And Dallas just had no answers. No answers for the depth that Boston brought to the table. You talk about Jayson Tatum, again, being the guy, wanting to be like Kobe, wanting to be the person that brought a title to Boston along with JB since Kevin Garnett. He delivered. So now we talk about their legacies. These guys are going to be Hall of Famers. This is going to solidify them as long as they, stay the path that they're on and continue to do what they're doing. They don't need to win another title. They're going to be Hall of Famers. They brought the title to Boston. They have given Boston the lead in titles ahead of the Lakers. That is number 18. So this is a huge deal for the legacies, right? Because not having a ring with a team that is expected to, very high expectations for quite a few years now. And, you go back to Kyrie on the Celtics, you talk about the disappointment that was going on there, Gordon Hayward along with it. Then, Kyrie breaking up and Celtics getting there against the Warriors, Steph Curry just doing what he does and getting the Warriors a win. Boston losing last year to the Heat. It was crazy, and Boston got a lot of shit for it. They got a lot of shit. So for them to show up and to do what they did, this is going to cement them as Hall of Famers. Them bringing number 18, these guys are future Hall of Famers. And no matter what anyone says, even if they lose next year and the year after that, and if they never win one again, they can't speak ill on the duo that is Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum. For years, people were debating, should these two not be on the same team? Should they trade Jaylen Brown? Should they get Jayson Tatum some different players on the squad, some different kind of help than what JB is bringing to the table? Brad Stevens, genius the way he's constructed this team. Genius. Where is the flaw in this team? From the very beginning of regular season to where we are now, Boston has been the best team. Best regular season team, easy. Sure, a shitty East, but guess what? Dallas came out the West and they handled Dallas 4-1. You want to say, oh, Denver was the best West team? Well, they lost to Timberwolves and Timberwolves lost to Dallas. There's no excuses. I don't care who they played and if they were not good enough. They can only control what they can control, and that's beating who's in front of them. And mind you, you're talking to a Laker fan. I am a Laker fan. A big Laker fan at that. I've been cheering for LeBron and AD. I've been wanting them to get another ring. Obviously, it was a disappointment this year. Obviously, Darvin Ham had to go. But I can still give props where I have to. And that's the Celtics from beginning to end. Hell of a job. Joe Mazzulla, hell of a job. Every player was bought in. These guys were giving their heart and soul. JB wins Finals MVP. He says, team effort. And my partner in crime, Jayson Tatum. Just phenomenal job. This does so much for their legacies. So much. Because if you walk away with no rings, oh man. That would be one of the biggest disappointments, period, of this era is that a team of this talent not being able to take it all the way. And with all the opportunities that have presented themselves with Boston, with all the moves they've made, trading for Drew Holiday, this was a legacy-defining championship. For one, it's because it's your first, but two, again, you are shutting up everyone. I mean, Jayson Tatum said himself, what they gonna say now? You know how many people were saying they should split? Well, what are they gonna say now? Oh, they had an easy run. Easy run or not, they won. And again, as a Lakers fan, even I'm willing to admit they were the best team this year. It wasn't my Lakers, unfortunately. It was Boston. Let's just call it how it is. Let's just say what it is. Boston was the best team this year. Is it going to happen again next year? We'll see. But they are, without question, early favorites already. Just because how dominant they've been. Especially at home. Oh my gosh, this team is crazy at home. Boston is crazy good at home. All in all, though, just big congratulations to the Celtics. With the Mavericks, you move forward till next year. You have to hope Kyrie maintains his elite level of play. You have to hope he maintains his elite level of play. Definitely have to hope that he kind of just figures things out. Just if you have to play in Boston again, because him playing in Boston was tough. Just not good, to be honest with you. He did not play good at all in Boston. Game 1, 2, and 5 were just bad. Bad. And oh man. Dallas, though, a lot of players under 25, Derek Lively, PJ Washington, just those to take note of. Daniel Gafford is still young. Luka's 25. Again, the only older person is Kyrie. So it's definitely doable to try and, bring it back. Hopefully you get a healthy Luka. There is still a bright future in Dallas if Luka can stay healthy and Kyrie can get it together in those big games, specifically again in Boston. Just played bad. You just played bad in Boston. Oddly enough, though, free agency is actually going to start sooner rather than later just because of the new CBA deal. So we are going to hear of players re-signing, or basically we're just going to be hearing free agency news significantly earlier this year. So that's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see who the Lakers hire as a head coach. All in all, it was a fun season. A disappointing finals run in that it wasn't as competitive as I'd like it to be. I'd say the best series this year is probably Minnesota and the Nuggets, or Pacers and Knicks. A lot of good series, but I would say those were probably the best two. The biggest series being the finals 4-1. Pacers getting swept against Boston. Timberwolves losing 4-1 against Dallas. The biggest series were basically the Western and Eastern Conference Finals, and then the finals itself were not as competitive as you would like. So hopefully next year we get healthy teams, a healthy East, and then players who are playing also be healthy. It's gonna be a lot more to look forward to, I believe, next year, especially with the likes of John Morant getting healthy. Hopefully guys like LaMelo Ball can get healthy. I'm curious to see what OKC does. What are the Suns going to do? What are the Clippers going to do? There's a lot of teams who have a lot of interesting situations. For me, obviously, though, most importantly is what are the Lakers going to do? And are we going to draft Bronny? A lot of questions, but I'm here for it. Been a great season. Congrats one more time to Boston. Let me know what you guys think. What are your thoughts and opinions on this? How does this affect Jayson Tatum's and Jaylen Brown's legacy? I think you can't shit on them anymore in terms of, again, their greatness. These guys are a phenomenal duo. They finally got to prove it to the whole world, to the whole NBA fandom. Jaylen Brown proving his contract was not an overpay. I mean, all NBA, you didn't get it, and look what happens. Finals MVP. Just an impressive Very impressive run all throughout. Again, Boston, people say they didn't play the best, and even me, I even said in several videos, Boston to me had a red carpet to the finals, but they still handled it the most professional way. They still showed up and beat every team whom they played in a pretty dominant fashion. Only losing 3 times. So I'm the person who also said they had a red carpet to the finals, but you have to acknowledge that they were just dominant. So again, I appreciate you guys for watching. As always, this is All We've Been Different. All We've Been Different. And we out.